system of organization. But racism as a phenomenon, as an attitude, sadly, exists in all human societies. I have been appalled to see, during recent visits to Europe, the extent to which racism seems to be increasing. The black American writer James Baldwin emigrated to France at the end of the 60s because he couldn't stand racism in America at that stage anymore. 10 years later, he returned to the States, saying that racism in France had now become worse than in the States. And France is one of the freest societies of the world. On a recent visit to Scandinavia, I was approached by a young black South African who had emigrated and who told me how he'd been beaten up by Scandinavian police at a railway station simply because he was black. And when he told them, "But I'm a South African refugee," they said, "Why don't you go back there? Because there they know how to treat your kind." And these may be exceptions, of course, but there seems to be an unfortunate attitude towards other people, towards strangers, whether they're blacks, whether they're Turks, whether they North Africans, doesn't matter where they come from. The moment when you have in a society different peoples with different cultures, these attitudes of superiority and discrimination seem to creep in. And what I should like to see people do is to realize that this is an evil lurking in all people. Attack South Africa for it. Don't allow South Africa for a moment to escape from constant attacks, pressure, criticism. But I think people in Europe must remember all the time, and this is what I'm trying to do in The Wall of the Plague, that racism exists in every person's heart, and one should try to eradicate that. Because what racism really amounts to is a lack of understanding, a lack of communication, a lack of love, and people should eradicate that in their own minds.
Dank u wel, meneer Brink.
Thank you.